Welcome back to Animation Teacher. So today we're into week 3 of our first year animation class, and we're going to be doing the upper torso rig animation. Now I do have another video on how to build this particular rig. I think I call it face planing. So if you want to have a look at the playlist, the Harmony playlist in my YouTube channel, you should be able to see a rig that basically resembles the rig that we're going to be working on today. I will be, just one moment here. So this is what the rig looks like here. So if you check my Harmony playlist, you'll be able to see something. I think it's called face planing. And this is the animation you'll see in that short. And you'll also see how I rig this character. For this particular video, I want to explain a couple of things. Mostly we're going to be covering what we covered in class, and we'll be doing some animation with the rig. First thing I want to highlight is we have this rough drawing layer included here. What I would like you guys to do is to basically draw I'll use this cutter green. Basically draw your rig. This is a terrible trace off, but the idea is to draw your rig and create a face plane point. Okay, and we're just going to hide this from the view here by hitting D. We can turn on our onion skin here. So the idea is that we're going to be drawing some poses out here. Our first pose will be an anticipation pose. And we want to be able to pose out our rig in a way that basically squashes the rig and also maintain a sense of proper planing with the eye line and the nose line. Okay, so that's basically what we'll be doing today. Let me bring back our rig here. Now, once you do your sketches, I'm just going to ditch this animation first. So let's highlight everything here, hit delete, go to the last frame, and hit F5. Alright, so I'm going to hit F6 to key everything on the first frame. I'm going to hit it a few times, F6, so we have two keys here. Now, when you pose out your character into the second key, what you want to ensure is that the base of the torso basically stays the same on the ground plane. So I'm going to zoom in here for a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to raise this up a little bit, nudge it into place. So then the base of this torso is the same. Now you'll notice when I move the objects, there's a systematic way that I'm approaching this. The thing with animating Puppet is you always want to make the big broad movements first, and then you go in and tweak. So right now I'm using this sketch as the basis of most of my movement. I don't necessarily have to follow this exactly. Now, if you have your sketch on top and you're having difficulty clicking your symbol, you can feel free to lock the layer. So this rough layer here, similar to Photoshop, there's a lock icon that you can just click off. So now you'll never be able to grab it. Well, not never, you just unlock it again, but for now it's locked. So what we're going to do is we're going to position the head more or less where we want it. Okay, I'm just going to deactivate this, D, and you can see that there's a few things we actually have to fix here, but the idea is, the idea is present here. We're going to basically ensure the base of the neck sits properly on the body, and the head, I'm just going to shift down a little bit. We get a nicer antic there. So once we have the big basic broad movements locked down, the next thing we'll do is we'll go symbol by symbol to ensure that we get the best possible angle. Okay, so I'm just going to skew this a little bit. Rotate, maybe even lower it some more. Alright, so I'm toggling left and right by using the comma and the period button. Okay, so right now I'm parenting up by hitting B, B, B to go up and Shift B to go down. It's important never to circle select anything, because when you do that, you don't necessarily catch all the elements. And the problem with doing that is when you start to tween your animation, some of the animation moves and some of it doesn't. So we want to make sure we grab everything by parenting upwards. So parenting up is just grabbing an object like so and hitting B to ensure your peg is being grabbed. Okay, so I'm going to rotate this. This pivot point is off, but don't worry about that. Now I'm just going to turn my eyes a little bit. And this nose should jut out just a touch and rotate. And the mouth should be forward and rotated. Alright, so we have our down position here. I'm just going to skew this head a little bit like that. Okay, there we go. So we have a nice skewed head. The next pose, feel free to sketch this out as well. The next pose we're going to do is we're going to do an up position. So make sure you unlock your layer, and the up position, actually I'm going to steal this pose here to start off with. Control C, Control V, and I'm going to basically do this. Alright, so we have our up position. The neck can stretch. Okay, so once again, let's lock our layer, and then we can pose out our character. So I'm going to move the torso first. Just trying to make sure the base doesn't move. Okay, and then I'm going to parent up from the neck. And just make the big broad movements first. Okay, so right now I'm trying to get that angle of the eye, and I'll kind of squash it a little bit. And the nose, and the mouth. Now the mouth, I want to actually open up, so I'm going to go to my library tab here. I'm going to click the mouth, and you can either scrub to the next drawing substitution, or you can use your brackets that's next to the P on the keyboard. And while the mouth is magenta covered, so it's the square is magenta, you can toggle the drawings. If you have the peg selected, the drawing substitution doesn't show up. Okay, so let's hide the rough by hitting D, and we'll have the character look up. Now just be careful, the drawing itself for the eyes, there's an eye white and an eye outline. So if you grab the eye and you see that there's no drawing substitution, it means that you've grabbed the eye white. If you grab the eye outline, you'll see that there's a closed and open position. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. Now, when you're doing squash and stretch, think of everything as if it was a balloon. You can squash and stretch it, but the volume or the mass will stay the same. I should say inflated balloon. Okay. Now, I've moved all these pieces, and when you look at the timeline here, I made a mistake of not hitting F6 like that before I moved everything. What that has done is it gave me a white square. What the white square means is that not every key was hit. So the main torso was not keyed properly. So what I have to do then is to ensure my upper torso is collapsed, and I'm going to hit F6. So now it's all red. Okay, so now that I have my high position, I'm going to make another key here. And that's going to be my settle as well. So now I have my overshoot and my settle. So for my overshoot, I'm going to go back one frame here, and I'm going to actually just use this key, but I'm going to push it up more. So this pivot point here, I can actually move temporarily. You can see the native position is still there, and then you can use that to skew and stretch. When you click away and click back, it'll snap back to its normal position there. So I'm going to just move this up now, and I'm going to find a happy medium of or happy position as to where this neck can be. Okay, and the head, I'm just going to rotate ever so slightly and add a slight stretch. Okay, and I'm going to do the same with this facial features. Now, if you have it selected in the camera, you can actually nudge things up and down with the arrow keys as well. So I'm going to add a little bit of a stretch on the eyes. Oops, there. Okay, I have to be careful to make sure I parent up to grab both eyes, the eye white and the eye outline. I'm going to push the pupils a little bit more. Alright, it's very subtle, but you can see that it's being pushed ever so slightly. And we'll do the same with the mouth. There, very subtle. And then I'm going to skew this back from this position here. There. Alright, so now we have our antic, overshoot, settle from the resting position. That's step one. Step two, we're going to create some timing. So to create time, you just hit Shift plus on the first key. And I'm going to extend this for some time, just so we can see it in action. That might be too much. So if you extend it too much, just hit the minus sign to bring it back. Okay, so I'm going to start my animation on frame 20. Okay, so I'll have a repeat of my first key on frame 20, and I'm going to tween it, so Control K, into my antic position. From the antic position, I'm going to hit Shift plus on my key and give it about 4 frames or so. And then from this overshoot position, I'm going to give it a few more frames, like so. And I'm going to highlight both keys and hit Control K. So this is what we have so far. Okay, now the only thing we have to add now really is the timing. So if I turn on my onion skin, you'll see that the timing is very even. Okay, and to adjust the timing, we'll pull up this Set Ease to Multiple Parameters. This is our first key. You are currently on frame 20. This is our antic. Now we are on frame 26. If we want to slow into this antic from frame 26, we have to make sure that we adjust the timing coming into it. So whenever you adjust the timing coming into it, you want to put in a number in the left time ratio. So I'm going to hit 80 and hit apply. You'll see that, here, I'll just show you from here. I'll show you what it looks like from 0. So the timing is very even from the resting position into the antic. When you get into the antic and you want to slow it down, you put it on the left time ratio. If you want it to, if you want the timing to exit slowly, then you would put it on the right side. So that's at 0. If I wanted to start it off slow and go out, then you would put it on the right hand side. But for this case, we don't need an 80. I think like 20 or so would do it. We don't need to exit that fast. Okay, now to end it, let me just show you here. This is our settle. Now, as you can see, it's pretty even timing. It's very subtle, but I still want a heavy ease into my final position, so I'm going to put 80, maybe 70, and I'll close. Now, this is a lot of trial and error. You can always adjust accordingly. So right now, that timing seems to work for me, so I'm going to keep it. Okay, so that's basically your rest, antic, overshoot, and settle. The next thing we're going to do, I'm going to copy this first key here, click and drag to frame 60, and I'm going to hold down the Control button. If you're working on a Mac, I believe it's the Alt button. Alright, so the next move is a little bit simpler. The next move literally is what we just did, except we're going to tilt into the pose. So we'll keep this nice and simple. Ideally, you would sketch it out, but for time's sake, I'm just going to have, I'm just going to pose it out without it. Okay, so just going to do a up position. Okay. All right. So we just have that. I'll rotate the nose a little bit. And the mouth. And maybe we'll open up the mouth here. Okay, so just make sure that the base of your neck is properly connected. That's probably the main thing that you have to ensure here, or else you kind of lose the illusion of the animation here. Okay, so we have our pose 1 and pose 2. So we're just going to do a push and cushion. So from the first key, I'm going to hit Shift plus a few times, and then I'm going to hit Control K. So this will be our first animation here. Oops, kind of pops. Just gonna click and drag this over and hit Control, and I'm gonna hit Control L to lose the key, just so we hold on this as a resting position first. Okay, so there's the push and cushion. Now we just need to add the ease, and we're going to just cushion into this at 80, go back, we'll start it off at, say, about 20, and that's your push and cushion. Okay, now you'll see that the mouth opens up right at the end. The idea of switching the instance is on the biggest movement, so probably midway through here, I can start to change the instance, and it should look a little bit cleaner. Okay. Now, we'll do one more. I'm going to take this and I'll drag it to frame 100, holding the control. And this one's going to be a little bit more fun. I'm actually going to steal this animation here. So I'll take the resting and the antic position, and I'm going to click and drag this over to 100, and I'm going to hit Control, and here's my animation. Okay, I need a resting position here. Okay, so we'll actually start from frame 90. Okay, so here's my antic. Now I want to do a turnaround. So basically, I want to take this position here. I'm going to click and drag over to frame 112. And then what I'll do, ready for this? Click on the key, go over here, and hit number 4. So that flips it over. The problem with that is it's going to do this. We're spinning the perspective. If you look up here, you'll see that it's inverting from a solid 1 to a -1. So that flips the drawing around in the y-axis or the x-axis. Okay, so we don't want that to happen. What we do want to happen is we want to ensure that the tweening happens without this flip. And to do that, all you have to do is, after you flip this, is take this, hit F6, hover over the camera, and flip this as well. So now when you tween this to this, it goes up. All right, let's do that again. I'll delete the keys. So if you have this, for example, you can do it with this key first, hit F6. Then you copy this key, slide it over, hold Control. So now you have this key and this key again, right? But this time, you're going to flip this one by hovering over this camera window, hitting 4, and you're also going to do the same here. Hovering over, clicking 4. Then you have both of them facing the same direction. At this point you can hit Control K, and that's going to tween. So this is what it looks like for now, and then you basically smooth out the animation. So to smooth out the animation, one of the tricks is to actually break your tweens. So I like to actually break my tweens before and after, and then we'll just continue on there. And to remove a tween, you basically click on the key with the tween and hit Control L. L is to lose the tween. So at this point, we can adjust our keys and create breakdowns. We can even close his eyes. And we'll try to bring this closer over here as well. And then we'll squash the body. Bring down the neck. The idea is that you're trying to find the transitionary pose here and cheat it into perspective, or cheat it into the next position with the least amount of drawings. If you have to draw, sometimes you have to draw. So like this, that's not working for me there. So you could probably draw something to fit in nicer. Okay, let's have a look at this first. Okay, so that's basically a turnaround here. Now let's add some eases. So I'm going to ease out of this, probably 60, and I'm going to clean up these numbers here. It can speed up into this position and speed up out, and we're going to ease into the final position. Okay, so that's essentially it. We can then open up our eyes. And then when we get to the last key, if you want, you can move the pupils. So that's going to tween into it. Okay. If you don't want the pupils to move into the tween, you can always start that action earlier. Now note that white dot, if you do break a tween, it's going to affect the tween of the pupils. So you got to locate it. Now, if you see this parameters box, you can get rid of it by hitting this. But here is your pupil. You can simply hit Control K and tween it. Find the pupil again by hitting O and locate the peg and hit Control K. So that'll tween it properly now. Okay, let me collapse this, and I'm going to show you the entire assignment that is due. So first we have our antic, overshoot, settle, then our push and cushion, then our combo. Okay, so that pretty much does it. I'm going to be saving, whoops, I'll save a sample here. As B, or you know, I'll just name it week 3. I got to keep consistent. Okay, B tran underscore we dash week 03. Okay, so feel free to grab this as an example file and just have a look at it again and again. All right, thanks for watching Animation Teacher, and I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.